that didn't last long. It appears that far-right provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos has been fired from the informal 2020 presidential campaign of Kanye West, so known as Ye. Yay. According to the Daily Beast, Yiannopoulos' ouster follows a string of disastrous media appearances for the disgraced rapper, as well as infighting within the West orbit. So, of course, those media appearances include him storming off of Tim Pool's show after a very, very tiny, slight, mild, teensy little pushback on the Jewish question, and then going on InfoWars and screaming about how he loves Nazis. So, okay. Now, here's what Yiannopoulos told the Daily Beast on Sunday. He and I have come to the mutual conclusion that I should step away from his political team. I will continue to pray for Ye and all his endeavors. Yiannopoulos held a campaign manager-style role in the operation and was the first operative West brought into the fold. Following Yiannopoulos' hire, other far-right figures, including white nationalistic Fuentes and racist YouTuber Sneeko, were brought in as well. Fun. So, look, I guess the first sign here that there was trouble in paradise was, and not a lot of people noticed, I didn't know this is the first. He wasn't on the Alex Jones interview. Oh, he wasn't there. Okay. So again, I didn't think of it, of it at all. I didn't think anything of it. But apparently he had already been on the outs at that point. Now, here's what a conservative figure familiar with the internal politics of Ye's entourage said, quote, "It's like Game of Thrones, and every day is the Red Wedding." Oh, lovely. That sounds like a great working environment, everyone. Isn't conservative politics fantastic? It's great. And by the way, it's not just conservative politics. Let's be fair. I think a lot of campaigns on the Democratic side are pretty cutthroat. But to be fair, on the Democratic side, they don't have literal, fascists, white supremacists, and neo-Nazis. That's something very unique to the right wing in this country. But anyway, even before Yiannopoulos' firing, tensions, according to a report here, had become public between him and Nick Fuentes. After Yiannopoulos told NBC News that Fuentes was brought to dinner with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago to make Trump's life miserable, Fuentes had contradicted him. On Sunday afternoon, allegations emerged in far-right media that Yiannopoulos was fired after attempting to make some power move against Fuentes. Oh, look at that. We got power moves going on now. Fun times. So, now look, what kind of power move are we talking about? Are we talking about like a leg drop or clothesline or what are we talking about? I mean, look, you could. So, not that I endorse this, okay? But Yiannopoulos, he could literally just probably pick up Nick Fuentes and dump him in the nearest trash can. The guy's like 100 pounds. Not a very big person. I'm just saying. Why does the bigger person not just dump the other person into a trash can, the smaller one? But anyway, and certainly a garbage can would be a great place for Nick Fuentes to be. But anyway, that said, Yiannopoulos disputed that claim. He said, look, any suggestion that I try to get anyone fired is false, especially not people I brought in myself who owe me their gratitude, loyalty, and respect. Again, this is what I love about infighting within conservatives. They get vicious. And you might think, well, what are you talking about? Vicious. Wait, what's vicious about that? No. It's the backhanded, right? I mean, of course, I brought Nick Fuentes in myself. He owes me gratitude, loyalty, respect. Owes me. That's gonna that's gonna be a thing later on. It's gonna come back. We all know this. Now, the report also noted that far-right activists are grappling for influence over, I wouldn't say as much influence over Kanye, as in, like, trying to, what's really a good descriptor here for this? Tricking them, using like mental illness against him. I mean, I don't know. Certainly there's got to be some of that going on in this, because Kanye is not a smart person. And it doesn't have anything to do with, by the way, with his mental illness, at least his bipolar. Exploitation is a great word. Thank you. Yes, exploitation. They're just exploiting how stupid he is. Now, how much of a dumb, uneducated person he is. And again, add to that the fact that he doesn't take his medication. And he's being duped by all of these right-wingers. These white supremacist neo-Nazis. But anyway, that said, they note, the report notes that they're grappling for this exploitation, its ability to exploit him, and the private jet travel and other perks that come with it. Now, Yiannopoulos responded to this and said, quote, "I'm not in the least bit drawn in by the perks and private jets. Maybe the others are." Oh, there's another little subtle dig there. I mean, I'm not in it for all that stuff. Maybe some people are, the very people that I may have brought in that owe me their gratitude, loyalty, and respect. Ah. Look, I don't know. That doesn't seem very subtle. Now, look, I think this is going to get nasty. I can almost guarantee that this situation is going to get nasty. That said, we haven't seen Fuentes really talk about, this. He did not return the Daily Beast request for comment. But let's get to more Yiannopoulos. Now, he claimed to the Daily Beast that he had concerns about a potential new hire on the Kanye campaign, but would not name the individual in question. But wait for it. Maybe this person will be named and shamed. It depends. Because when it comes to people like Milo Yiannopoulos, you have to understand how dirty they play. Look, you got to give credit. I know it's weird because I don't really want to give them credit. But when it comes to running dirty campaigns and being vicious, Republicans will be vicious. Oh, wow, they'll be vicious. Now, some of you are saying Laura Loomer, which is certainly a possibility. Laura Loomer, not exactly a friend of Milo Yiannopoulos, and they've been getting into I guess, they've been making some comments about each other, which is fun. But all right, that said, Milo has a history of secretly recording his so-called friends. And that he has some hard, a hard drive, I should say, full of some compromising stuff on these people. But again, he could also be lying, because that's also what they do. They lie all the time. So you can't really take any of them at face value when they say they have something or when something is going on, which is why it's such a really wild card situation. And in case if you are wondering why this actually matters, well, unfortunately, a lot of this drives the conversation. A lot of this drives narratives on the right wing, and we can't really ignore them as much as we would want to. Tucker Carlson, for example, his segments sound a lot like the stuff that Nick Fuentes says. But what Tucker Carlson does is that he takes these arguments, white supremacy, white nationalism, and tries to repackage them for maximum plausible deniability. It's still the same stuff, the same garbage, but it's spread to an audience of millions and millions of people. Again, Tucker Carlson, top rated show. And that's why it does, unfortunately, set the agenda, set the tone for the conservative base. And so it does have implications what happens, even in this small, so-called campaign, fake campaign. I don't know that, Kanye is running grift. You could call it that. That's why, this exploding onto the national stage does have national implications, even if it's not going to go anywhere. It sets the conversation and sets the tone, and it sets it in a, not a very good place.